my microphone set up. Oh. Alright, it's your boy. Just real tired, to be honest, at this point. I just had to watch Mark's videos again for the last two to get this done, and fuck me, I just don't. Started off as like talking about how he was getting yelled at for not doing the Tetris piece tutorial. It was more, no one was yelling at him, and the comments were, if you're going to insist on getting angry about the Tetris pieces every time you see them and going and doing Tetris puzzles, you should go and do the tutorial for that puzzle. You know, it's a bit, calling it yelling's a bit of a weird one. So you can actually just skip this whole area. It's easier if you change your field of view, but if you just solve that, you can just go straight to the laser. The speed running trick there, but I'm really bad at it. I've only got it successfully done once. But anyway, like, I don't think we even really need to explain the mechanics. So the gate to get you in can be solved either way, because it's just one square. There's no anything there, and the rest just speaks for itself, to be honest. Like, it's not particularly complicated. What could it all mean? Here it gets a bit tricky, you give it the old. Yeah, this one, again, plainly obvious. And following the rules that we've just done, it's nice and tidy, real easy, no fuss. But man, like there's the video that Mark was doing this on went live while we were at D&D. And so we actually got to watch that while he was in the room and pause it and have him explain himself. Yeah, like it's honestly, have you seen it? Because he was counting sides, going, okay, well this is one square, so it's up one, across one. Okay, then this one it went up two, across one, which makes sense if you're just looking at the dots. But he was looking at the sides, and if you look at the sides, it's just up one, across one. But then on this one, he was trying to do it with only 4, and then this one, fuck knows what he was at. He was trying to get 6 or 7. So he was there trying to get, it's the sides, but then using less or more sides and not looking at the shape. Even when he was doing that, like, we could point at it on the screen. He didn't get it. Then eventually he's like, oh, okay, yeah, I do get it. Was able to explain it back to us. And then a couple minutes later, it just became very clear that he had no idea what was going on at all. It's fucked, man. I got no idea how he manages, but I mean, to be honest, it's impressive at that stage. But yeah, and then he ranted for a while about the tutorial level being terrible. There was better ones in games that don't even have tutorials, but I feel like this is a pretty good progression. Can't get it wrong, so you've got a really good baseline of this is correct. So whatever the rule is, fits within this shape. Then you've got this one. Wrong, wrong, right. So you know, okay, it's similar to that one. Okay, so it's making a square. So you know, okay, we'll make a square, and that works. And then there's 2. Try the same thing, doesn't work. You make that same fucking shape, and it works. So it's such a good tutorial for this mechanic. It hasn't introduced any of the complicated elements. They're all single pieces. They're all fixed in place. You know, it just baffles me. Yeah, I gotta take a breath. You know, being bad at puzzles, that's fine. Just the willful ignorance that Mark's given here when he's complaining about the game because he's not stopping and looking. It's pretty impressive. He found you know, this vault here, which is your classic. The yellow's got that yellow. It's got the blue. Okay. Yeah, that needed to be there. Sorry, everybody. Okay, that means we also need to go. So if we go bam, bam, down, and that's the third one. So if we just isolate that one. Okay, that's one I actually will have to think about. But it's too early in the morning to trust stunt on Mark for a puzzle he hasn't even done yet. It's alright, there's nothing in there but another thing that'll just annoy him anyway. I just want to point out 2 lasers coming in. It's looking pretty tidy. These guys are trying to choke each other pretty good. I'm really interested to see what Mark thinks this is. Currently he's thinking it's a Stargate, which does fall in line. Mark, maybe you want to listen to this, because it might actually help you and support your theory. He found that this puzzle, it looks like the river. Thought that was a cool little Easter egg. And then what he does is he walks around in circles for a very long time. Like you wouldn't, if you haven't seen it, you wouldn't believe how many times he comes down here and he does a loop here so many times. It's just unbelievable. Goes back up there and then back around to the same place. But yeah, we actually ended up going back to the swamp, but didn't stop and reassess any of those things. So I'm not going to waste your time there, and we're going to go back to the hedge mazes. But it is a little bit awkward, and to be honest, this is a bit of a waste of your time because he went and did one hedge maze, which he'd already solved before he lost his save progress. This one, but I've already solved it, as you can see. Just no scoped it through here, but I'm gonna show you something that's gonna help Mark out a lot. So okay, so we're going over 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I do have to say, if you haven't watched the video, go watch it. Because after, watch all of attempting this, because that's the build-up, and then seeing how he tries to solve this might be the funniest thing I've seen in my life. So that's why we do this. Watch this absolute nonsense that's so aggravating, because, fuck, when he hits, he hits. Now I just got to go back to the swamp to get set up for the next video, so while I'm going there, just going to complain that this game, isn't relaxing. You don't just sit and play it like you would some Sudoku. You sit down, a cup of tea or coffee, have a nice relaxing time, which is exactly how you play this game. You just go, yeah, I want to solve some puzzles. You just settle in, solve some puzzles, and you have a really nice time. But I'll get set up for next video. And yeah, Mark, if you want some Sudoku puzzles, I got some bangers I can send you. Anyway, this is your boy, tired of Mark's bullshit, signing off.